Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get firsthand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Adam Saffer. I don't usually ask this question, Adam, because it's not usually relevant to most of my guests, certainly not for our listeners to know what it was like or what it's like to live in Dallas or Seattle or New York City. But you were living and working in so many different countries, many of which were incredibly poor, may have been conflict affected, may have had all kinds of infrastructure challenges, and that's part of the reason that you were there. Could you give us a sense of what the lifestyle is like working in international development as a foreigner living in these different contexts?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I do this. And again, it's not for everybody, but to compare the average day or social event, let's say, in the developing world to Boston, New York, Philly, San Francisco, it's completely different. The lifestyle, surprisingly, is very comfortable. My wife and I have become professional foreigners. We like being a foreigner. We like being an observer. I'd say the couple of the key characteristics. One is you're going to learn all the time because you're learning about food and language and culture and music, and everything's new. So you don't come to a developing country and look for the nearest Olive Garden or McDonald's. You have to be willing to try their ideas of fun, their ideas of nutrition, their ideas of social interaction. The typical, being an expat, you typically have half of your friends that are other expats, not necessarily Americans, but other people doing similar things or working for some reason you're working there. And when you get together, the common, because a lot of places are either too limited or dangerous to get together to go out to dinner. I mean, you still can, but more and more, you would meet at someone's house. You'd be 6 to 20 people, and you'd be 3 to 15 nationalities. And you sit around the table and share incredible stories, incredible observations about the country you're in and about past countries, because a lot of us have lived in a lot of countries. The housing is fine. Peace Corps is a different thing. Peace Corps, you really are living at the village level and you're suffering and you're learning, and it's incredibly motivating. I did not do Peace Corps. I didn't even know much about it, but I probably would have enjoyed it. But this, as a profession, you're respected in the country very much. And so you live well, you're typically treated well. You have to have a good sense around you of avoiding certain areas at certain times of day or night, but you have to do that in the U.S. and everywhere as well these days. And you end up finding a lifestyle where you're either working, doing something you enjoy, trying to make a difference, or you're enjoying whatever the country or the town has to offer. You know, might be on the ocean, it might be in the safari areas, it might be in the desert. All of these offer incredible opportunities. And what you don't spend a lot of time doing is maintaining your lifestyle in terms of you have to pay your mortgage and you have to fix the gutters and you have to put gas in the car and you have to drive here and there because you live, that's all taken care of. Your housing's taken care of. The transportation's taken care of. And I can go back a minute. The other half of your friendships typically are with the locals and the local residents, and going to their homes and going to their children's graduations or weddings or festivals that you'd never see here. It's a very stimulating environment if you're up for adventure. If you're the type that looks for doing something a bit out of the box, this is a great way to expand your comfort zone. So my kids now, who went to 12 schools before they went to college and lived in 10 countries or have visited 10, 15 countries, have a very wide comfort zone in terms of people and color and religion and activities. Much different than, not better, just different than the people that have grown up in the States. I come back to the States once a year and I see my friends and, we're talking about the Red Sox. We don't talk about the Red Sox overseas. And it's a whole different environment that most people don't understand. And to get an understanding of it, there's articles, there's societies, there's organizations, there's professors, there's people that you can talk to who have done this before, who have made a career out of it, to see if it's something that would be interesting to you.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.